Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say. Real estate fraud has emerged as a significant challenge within Nigeria's property sector, undermining investor confidence, threatening economic growth, and causing substantial financial losses to individuals and institutions alike. From the sale of non-existent properties and multiple sales of the same property to forged documents and impersonation of rightful owners, the tactics used by fraudsters are increasingly getting, sophisticated and widespread by the minute. This menace thrives in an environment often characterized by weak regulatory enforcement, inadequate land documentation systems, and a lack of public awareness. To this effect, we're having the conversation tonight. It's another wonderful episode on your favorite primetime show, Ways. My name remains Osayuwa Mesale, and today we're discussing real estate fraud in Nigeria. Now, remember, Ways is all about you. You are the why in Ways, so be a part of the conversation every single day. You can head on to our YouTube channel. We're having a very vibrant YouTube community. Join the community, hit the subscribe button, like, share, invite your families and friends, and share our live links so they can join the show. When I open the phone lines, I would really love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Now, please, as always, let me allow you ponder on my quote for the day. It says, landlords grow rich in their sleep without working, risking, or economizing. It's as simple as that. And that was from John Stuart Mill. Right, so we'll delve into the conversation on real estate. I mean, I have a lot to unpack on this conversation, and I have a guest, a very interesting guest that will be joining me to have this conversation. But first, let me run off on a break. When I come back, I'll let you in on my news interest for the day. All right, thanks for staying tuned. Now, I'll begin my news interest for the day. The sole administrator of Rivers State, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Abbas, retired, has said that the proposed 1.48 trillion 2025 budget anticipates the return of the suspended Governor Simlaye Fubara and other affected political office holders. Abbas made this known in Abuja on Wednesday while defending the budget before the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Rivers State Oversight. According to him, he said that the proposed budget aligns with the strategic objectives of Rivers State Development Plan 2017 to 2027. He also noted that the proposal presents a strategic and integrated framework designed to raise revenues and accelerate infrastructure development, enhance human capital, and provide inclusive economic growth across all sectors. Long and short story, I think fences have been mended, and, there's going to be, what's it called? Yeah, let me just leave it there. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next story. So the world chess record holder, Tunde Onokoya, you know, there's a lot of criticism that came on him with the picture with him and the president. So he has defended himself amid the controversies and criticism that emerged following his recent meeting with Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Onokoya received a series of backlash from netizens after he presented a gold-plated Adire chessboard and his Guinness World Record certificate to Tinubu on Tuesday. The encounter with Tinubu spurred a spectrum of public opinion as many accused him of aligning with Tinubu, who, in their opinion, is pushing many Nigerians into poverty and unprecedented hardship. However, the world record holder, the Guinness World Record holder and founder of the Chess in Slum, in the post on X clarified his intention. He reaffirmed his commitment to children of Nigeria's slum through his organization, Chess to Slum, and defended himself amidst the controversies. Let me just say this. A lot of things that we do in this country, at some point, you need to realize that you cannot run away from the people that probably your goals or your visions don't align. You can't run away from them. You must be very diplomatic in your approach to things. Would this picture or would this visit to the president, would it help to shine the spotlight on a very important group of people that are marginalized in the slum? I would say that I believe so. I believe that, he has gained global recognition. The only thing to do, or one of the most honorable things to do, is to also find a way to put that spotlight and shine it on the things that matter. That is the Chess to Slum. Some people are saying this one is a clout chaser. He's someone that, just wants to, what's it called? I've heard so many stories, but hey, if there's anything that I know, I'm one of the people that pioneered putting board games or intellectual games in a standard, in a world-class standard, in a light that is attractive. And I remember Tunde Onokoya attended one of my events in 2018 at the hotel. I mean, I still have that picture. Whatever it is that we're doing, sometimes it might be seen that we're trying to, because people, and that's why I run away from conversations around the NGO space, because people just automatically think there's something that you want to get from it and all of that. I used to empty my accounts to run that event, because of the joy that I see and how much impact he made in the lives of the children. So he might just be after impact, right? I can't tell 100% because I'm not, inside his heart, but I want us to give him some slack. That visit can truly change things if the president decides to act. It can change things for the people in the slum. So let's not be too quick to criticize him. I'll move on to the final story. So Nigerians are asking Air Peace to reveal the identity of the politician it claimed disrupted flight operations in Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos this morning. And the airline released a statement disclosing how a prominent politician resorted to violence and disrupted this operation and attacked its staff after missing his flight this morning. Upon being informed of the missed flight, the politician resorted to violence, physical assaulting of their staff, and forcefully barricading the terminal entrance. He went as far as sealing the entry gate and manning the access point, effectively obstructing other passengers from gaining entry into the terminal. The statement read in part that the airline condemned the incident, which is tagged as unruly and unacceptable, but failed to disclose the identity of the prominent politician. It also mentioned that although it failed to disclose this information, videos circulated on X, if if you've been on social media, it is our action governor, one-time governor of Edo State, and the former Labour, Labour president. So if I'm saying all of this, I'm sure you know the person by now, right? Because people have just been all over social media, saying what kind of thing is this? And this is what we say. I said something yesterday that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. It was completely uncalled for. I've heard of so many people that say, oh, they were at the airport, they were inside the plane, waiting for over an hour, 2 hours. Why? Because somebody was coming to enter that plane. Come on, who does that? then just hire a private jet or something. I mean, if it is a commercial flight, for goodness sake, be on time. I mean, I don't know how we cannot just attach discipline and decency to the things that we do. It's a simple thing. I'll leave it there. Because they have warned me I should stop calling names. So I'm not going to call the person's name, but I've given you hints, clue. So attach the name yourself. So let's go on a break. I want to discuss real estate fraud in Nigeria. And I have a guest with me. Stay with me. I'll be right back.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
As urbanization accelerates and the demand for property rises, so does the vulnerability of buyers, sellers, and investors to deception and exploitation. So understanding the nature, causes and consequences of real estate fraud in Nigeria is crucial to formulating effective legal, technical, and institutional responses to protect stakeholders and also restore dignity to this very important sector. So joining me to shed light on the topic, right, real estate fraud in Nigeria, is Barrister Matthew Ottah. He's commonly or popularly known as Omonile Lawyer. He's joined me via Zoom. Okay, so Barrister, it's you and I tonight. Can you hear me? Confirm that you can hear me.
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me too?
So let me explain the background to which all of these things happen. So there has been a young man that I follow on social media. His name is Scott Iguma. Right? I've been following him very keenly, and, you know, a lot of things he talks about, you know, I kind of like, you know, I kind of accept most of the things he says as, you know, facts, plain facts, because I have always questioned the, the rationale behind some of the costs of our housing in Nigeria, you know, based on the amenities that we have. I've questioned a lot of things until it now happened to me. Unfortunately, somebody went to look for my trouble because we paid for a property in 2021.
I didn't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Can you start?
Oh, okay. Sugar, can you hear me?
Off. Yeah, I can hear you. The thing went off. Start again from
Oh,
Scott.
Sugar, okay. I said I agree with Scott Iguma. I mean, some of the things he says about real estate, and I feel real estate is overpriced in Nigeria. I completely agree with him because for the amenities that we have in real estate in this country, it's not commensurate to the price that some of the properties are, you know, valued at. So that's on one side. I said the reason we are even having this conversation today, right, is because we acquired the property in 2021, or we paid for a property in 2021. I was supposed to be ready in 2023, only for me to get there last year, October, and there was nothing. It was not available. And instead of this real estate company to, you know, call and explain what is going on, they are calling and they are asking for a 32% increment. Now, here's the catch. We paid for the property in full, including all the handover and legal fees. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So it was after I posted that video on social media, I just started, like, my DM is filled up. I can't even read it. Then if you go to the comment section, a lot of people have just been complaining how they have been scammed over the years, fraud, they have paid for properties, they've not seen it. They are asking them to pay more money. Like, the list is endless, right? The list is endless. First of all, why do we have so much cases of real estate fraud in Nigeria?
Thank you for bringing me to this show. The first reason is it's unregulated. It's a dog-eat-dog society there. You see, most of all these things that happen is because the government has given developers, sellers, whoever is in charge, the opportunity to do whatever rubbish they want to do. They sell land without good title. They sell properties without documentation. The person that is selling it is probably a thief or does not own it, does not have all the right things. So everything is very lax. So it's just like going to the market to buy rice. You're dealing with an unregulated person, so it's a cash and carry thing. When you start asking for different documentation, it's as if you're looking for their trouble. When you start asking for ownership of the properties, as if you're looking for their trouble. When you start asking, oh, this property does not have complete documents, as if you're being forward or just being stupid. All they want is that you pay for it, you own it, and whatever happens after that, it is your problem. Because there are no regulations, there are no aspect of verification, because verification actually solves 3/4 of these problems. And if the land registry also have the full database of almost all the lands and houses in Lagos, it will be very easy. Most of all this fraud that we talk about here in Lagos is not as bad as Abuja, because Abuja is a little bit regulated. It has AGIs, it has layouts, it has different things. Most of it here is just a dog-eat-dog thing, because the person is the one that bought it from the moneyless. They call them the family sellers. The family sellers, they don't even know the lands they are selling. They just sell anything, different boundaries, whatever. So the problem actually starts from them, shift to the person that is selling to you. The person selling to you is like, I bought it from this person, they did not give me this, they did not give me that, then why are you giving me wahala? So it's a dog-eat-dog society there, and you have to be very smart and sharp, because everybody is finding a way to eat. There's no money in the country, so this is the next CBEX, how they can scam and dupe you. So that is just the issue itself.
So I hear you, because again, that is one thing that kept on coming up on my comment session around regulations, right? First of all, who is supposed to be in charge of regulations when it comes to issues around property in Nigeria? Because from the little knowledge I have, right, there are different things you pay for to the government whenever probably a property is acquired and all of that. So when you are talking about regulation, can you just break down, like, expatiate what you mean by true documentation and regulation that you're referring to? Because if I'm already paying maybe a land use charge, you know, I've probably acquired a C of O and all of those things from the government. So why am I still having issues around regulations? Because some of these real estate companies, they always claim to have a global C of O document, right? You're smiling.
Those are lies.
Hey.
It's actually the Land Registry Office that's in charge, the Ministry of Lands, that deals with title documentation. So they are in charge, but you have other sub-bodies that control all these things. If it's a building, you have LACA, the one that deals with building plan approval. If it's environmental, they have another department. So there are different departments that deal with land. But these land issues or housing issues we are talking about are the ones that are registered with the government, the ones the government knows about. There are too many lands, too many houses, and very, very little regulations. That is why people are registrations. That is why so many people are taking advantage of it. 70 or 80% of the lands in Lagos or houses are not registered. So you can't really blame the government for saying, oh, they know about this, they know about that. It is completely unregulated. They've given people the opportunity to just own land, sell, and continue selling without registering, or very little threats or laws to make sure that they compel people to actually register their title. And also the cost of registering these titles are quite expensive. So that's what's also pursuing a lot of people from registering it. We've had different meetings with Lagos State government to say, look, if we reduce the cost of getting a C of O or governor's consent or whatever title on this property, almost everybody will register their property, because land and house is a very big asset. But when they keep increasing the cost and they keep using a lot of bureaucratic ways to delay the title documents, it puts a lot of people off. And all these scammers, they see these things, they hear everything, they know that there's a loophole on the ground. Because if I could get my title documents to my land in 30 days, and you give me an average price, I can get it. There's no sensible Lagosian that will not pay for their title documents after spending a huge amount of money to get it. But if you're saying to get a CFO will take you, legally will take you 3 months, but in reality it will take you 1.5 years or 2. The same thing with governor's consent. Why would I now buy a land, wait for 2 years or so before I get the title document, before I want to sell it or build? So that's why there are a lot of mago, a lot of wayo, a lot of rubbish going on. So it is from their side. If they actually come down and liaise with people and say, okay, we are going to bring the cost down, we are going to expedite registration, we are going to remove a lot of these bureaucracies. You can get all these things within so time. I can assure you 70% of all these scams will be eliminated, because almost everybody will have registered title documents, and before you buy, you can go and check it. But most of the lands in Lagos are unregulated and unregistered. That's why it is open for fraud.
In your, what's it called, experience as an Omonile lawyer, that you've dealt with different people over the years, what do you think are the most commonly perpetrated fraud in Nigeria, especially within the real estate sector? What's the most common? Is it land? Is it, is it the ones that these real estate companies are doing now? Which one is more prevalent?
You see, you have to categorize them into different groups. That is the truth. You can't lump all of them. You have the Omoniles, the customary landowners. Their own fraud is that they sell lands that do not belong to them. They already
or they sell to multiple buyers.
That is one. That is one. Two, they sell to multiple buyers, because you can't know a land that has been sold. Because most people that buy lands, they don't take possession of it. There's ownership and there's possession. I can own, but if you don't, I can own, and if you don't possess it, like put walls,
fencing. That's why they tell you to go and fence your land.
Yes. So if I don't know, the Omoniles will be strolling around that place. After 3 months, they don't see anything. They will market that same land that they sold to me to you. How would you know? To knock our head together. And at the end of the day, have you heard of Omonile refunding money before? So they know the worst that will happen, that you arrest them. The same way you arrest them, you will release them, and they will still sell that land to a third party again. By the time they have 4, 5, 6, 7 people fighting on the land, they've collected money and they've shared it among themselves. So that is a Omonile scam. They procure false survey plan to claim that they own the land in their family name. They get involved in dubious succession issues. In fact, their own is a book on their own. That is one. The second one are the developers, the kind of people you encounter. Now, these developers too, they are very smart. They know the regulations are not heavy on them. So the moment they buy the house, they just construct. They settle people at the land registry to keep away, because Alausa or land registry will go and check, oh, do you have building plan, do you have environmental, do you have this, do you have that? But they now settle all these people. Please cover your eyes from all these things. Then they just put all these structures up. There's nobody to regulate the building inspection from the ground. The type of sand they should use, the type of foundation they should use, the type of blocks they should use, the type of windows they should use, the type of roof. They just put a structure there, and they use paint to cover everything, put some interior things to make you believe they've done the right thing. But they've not even complied with anything, because there's no compliance. Now, in the UK now, it's very, very, very difficult for somebody to sell a house. Even though the person was not the one that built the house now, they will make sure that they check everything from the foundation to the electrical, to the boilers, you can't just sell. And even if you decide to sell the land, there's verification that is allowed, that within a specified period, the person has the opportunity to check everything. And even if they check everything, they will put the money in one corner, and the person still has like a month or two to move inside that place to say, oh, there's no problem in this house, so this man promised me is okay. This is not, before they now release the money to you. Because we live in a cash and carry society. They employ all these girls, guys, agents to come, go on Instagram and be marketing all these houses. Meanwhile, most of these houses have a lot of issues, but people don't see them. They see only the fact.
Barrister Matthew, that is even the ones that even build the property. Because you are speaking to the integrity of the quality of the property that has been built. What about the ones, the developers that collect your money and with no plans to even build it at all? Because that is what is happening now.
Personally, I would blame, if you come to me and ask me, it's actually called off-plan properties.
Yes.
Would I advise anybody to buy an off-plan property? I would say no. Because you're buying audio, you're just buying a facade. Somebody has told you, I will do this. You've not seen it. They has given you a 3D model of how it's supposed to look like. And they are not saying, pay so amount of money. That's fraud in advance now. Some people will tell you, no, the person needs the money to do this. It's like what I paid for and what you received. Something that has not happened. Somebody will sign a contract for
But
you and
Barrister
you pay the
Matthew,
person
I have
money.
seen a lot of, or some real estate companies that sell off plan and they have delivered on the job.
That is some. You
Yes.
have no idea what the contract of sale states, because it's the contract of sale that actually books these people. It starts from verification. Do you know whether the company exists? Have they seen their previous work? Okay, what is the timeline within when you're going to do this? And let me even know that you have the capacity to do that. There's a very big real estate company, I don't want to mention their name now, that used to be involved in this fraud. And they were doing it until they arrested the person involved that was making mouth about it. He used to do a lot of off-plan. He started with the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. They were very good. And people were now rushing based on his name. That's why I started collecting money from different people. I want to do phase 4, phase 9, phase 11, phase 12, phase 13. That I will finish up in 1 year. It is common sense to know that how would this person finish within 18 months when you're promising somebody phase 9 and you've not finished phase 5? How is he going to jump to that? You yourself, you go and see the materials involved. Thirdly, why are you paying in full? You know the way our system is, the moment money enters their hand.
No, but guess what? Guess what? The people that paid in full are supposed to be at an advantage right now. Because why? Because most of those people, because of the inflation and whatever that has happened, it's not supposed to ideally affect them. It is just, I feel like what is happening within the real estate sector was the initial statement you made. These guys know that laws don't work in this country. There's no rule of law. There's no regulation. Nobody's got, so they can be in court for years. That is why they are getting away with this. For us as a people, right, shouldn't there be a centralized registry where you can always verify? Because I think I've said this thing several times, and I think I'll keep on pushing this until it sinks in. Real estate developers that are the real people doing the job, you people need to be the ones to start calling out the people that are fraudulent amongst your midst. You just made a statement now, and you said a big real estate, you don't want to mention the name. We need to start to name them and shame them. I say this because a lot of people in the diaspora, most of them, because of the olden days where you give your brother money and you come back many years later, you don't see a house, a lot of them started defaulting into trusting real estate developers. But see what has happened now. These guys have they are having a free reign.
Okay, let me come to your situation. I stumbled upon your situation, maybe because we deal with land, and now stumbled upon it. I know I hardly comment on people's decisions, but I commented on yours. Because when I heard what you were talking, you mentioned the company's name, Henry Montegro, you had issues with them, you paid off plan, and after like a certain amount of years, they are now telling you that because of, first and foremost, from a legal perspective, that's fraud. And I know what I wrote there. I said, tackle this thing based on, because this is a court matter now, because they are trying to come from the back to make you pay for certain things that was not in the contract of sale. Remember I mentioned that word, the contract of sale. That contract of sale states anything that has to do with off-plan, what is expected from both the buyer and the seller, and the rules and regulations, the objectives, the remedies, and all that. If it is stated in the contract of sale that if during a certain period of time, due to inflation and all that, the price might increase and all that, then you can't do anything. But if it's not stated there, and they are now saying, oh, after so time and this and that, you have to take them to court. The only problem is that, right, like you rightly said, these developers, they've understood the system. Our court system, our police system, it's always in their favor. And I'll tell you how they operate. Now they've taken your money. I don't know how much. You go and report them to the police station. Oh, for fraud. You write petition and all that. The Nigerian police, you can't do anything freely. They will tell you to pay a specific amount of money, or even run into millions, before they go and arrest the person and lock the person up. This is what the developer will do. Let's assume you've paid 50 million naira. The developer will use 5 million naira and give it to them, so that they will use your own money can you pay them 10 million naira to make sure that the matter rests? And when they collect this money at the police station, or you now start pushing for them to go to court, that is what they want. In fact, they want you to go to court. So the moment you get to court, adjournment, appeal. It's your money they are using to get adjournments, your money they are using to get appeals. At the end of the day, they will hire a lawyer that will just, out of your money again, they just give him between 1 million and 5 million. Just be wasting this person's time. File your own claim, counter claim, appeal, adjourn this. You get tired. After some time, it's you that will now even beg that, okay, how do we settle this thing? They will now change it from a criminal matter to breach of contract. Then breach of contract, oh, I'm owing this person 50 million. That's after like 3, 5, 7 years. So I'm owing this person 50 million. The value of that 50 million naira in the year 2031 would have dropped compared to today. Then the person now say, I will be paying you small to spoil your money because he doesn't have the money. What do you want to do? Continue arresting him. Then the moment they pay you the first one, the second one, take it to court for breach of contract. Then he now shifts it from criminal to breach of contract, wasting your time. It will now be you that will give up on the property. So that is the scam. I've been involved in it. I've seen it happen. So that is how they operate. That's why I said I never encourage anybody to pay for anything that you've not seen. You rightly said, oh, some have delivered. That is some. You don't know my people's mind. But at the back of my own mind and seeing what happens, if I'm not seeing that thing concrete on the ground, if I don't see the evidence concrete on the ground, I walk away. I walk past. I don't waste my time. No matter what the person tells me, because I know that person is a human being. The person has the capacity to think straight today and think fraudulently tomorrow. He might have family problem. He want to pay his children's school fees. He might be owing debt. Somebody that did well for 1, 2, 3 might decide not to do well for 4, 5, 6. And your situation is 4, 5, 6. Because I know this estate that you're talking about, they used to do well before. Until I saw that stuff, I'm like, this company. And I now knew that, yes, they have their own issues too. That's why they decided to go like that. So the only way is to take them to court, but is it a positive thing, or you have to sit down with them? But if you decide to push it to court or police, I won't lie to you.
No, but for me, honestly speaking, I think where I am right now is that we need to start to call out the fraudsters amongst these developers. You know why it's important? Because it's not just me. Right? My case is just one case out of multiple cases. So if these people do not have the capacity to hold on their own part and be what's it called, have the integrity and the accountability to do what they have promised to deliver, then they should stay out of the business and give room, because there are other people that are still delivering, regardless of all the economic hardship. Because I have heard estate developers say that, see, by the time we commission a project, we sometimes go as far as taking a loan to make sure we finish that project. Do you understand? So when we start to sell, we make our money back. Some people go the extra mile just because they want to maintain integrity and accountability. So if we as a people, we are not intentional about calling these people out, then I don't think it's going to solve the problem. Because, housing is a major problem in Nigeria. Housing is a major need in Nigeria. And a lot of people are becoming more conscious of the fact that they need to own their properties. And that's why you see a lot of people, right? You make small money. The next thing you're thinking, I want to go and buy a land. I want to go and buy a house. I want to go and build my property. Because that is a necessity. It's not luxury for you to own your house. It is not luxury. So because this is a necessity, then a lot of people are taking advantage that we I don't carry the matter on top of my head. We need to be intentional about calling, so that now we will start to feature the people that have been delivering back to back without failure. So if you want to do business, go to those people. By the time they start to lose a lot of clients, they start to lose customers. And of course, they see where it's going. Most of them, if they change, because some of them have rebranded, they change their name, we will follow them to the new name. And we still calling them. This is the same management that had this company.
I know the people you're talking about.
Yes. So you do business with them at your own risk. But at least that information should be out there. Because a lot of people, when you go through this process, you keep quiet. And that's why it thrives. Some of this fraud is thriving in Nigeria because Nigerians are quiet. So we need to wake up. We need to talk about it. We need to shine the spotlight on it. It's a need that will continue to be amongst us. Housing is a necessity. And for a place like Lagos, it's even 10 times a necessity. Because the two places now that have been flooding my DM is Lagos and Abuja. Even the Abuja that you said, okay, they have a little bit of regulation and all of that. People are still being scammed.
Do you know a solution to this thing?
Yes.
That we've not talked about. It's verification.
Okay, you know what? Please hold your thoughts. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, I want us to move to solution. We are done lamenting. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
All right, thanks for staying tuned. If you just tuned in, real estate fraud is the matter that I have carried on my head today. Please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can call us on 07025007749 or 07014242420. I still have with me Barrister Matthew, the Omonile lawyer. Thank you so much for staying with me, Barrister. So before we went on a break, you wanted to start with, because you see this is the way you want to talk now. Eh? Okay, let me not say what's on my mind. Verification, right? Why do you say that a lot of us do not do our due diligence as regards verification?
Okay, let me come in here. If you want to buy a car, most people don't just see cars on the road and say, oh, I want to buy this car. You will check the person that is selling it. You ask for his custom papers, you ask for a proof of ownership, you ask for so many things because you are afraid of the police stopping you on the road. That if you buy a stolen car, you will also be a victim to the police and they will also deal with you. So before people buy cars, they carry mechanic to check the car, whether the engine is okay, whether the bonnet is okay, everything. Then they will now disturb the person. Let me see your papers, let me see your car papers, let me see everything to show that it is you that owns it. So that when I buy it, I expect police to stop me on the road. I expect road safety to stop me on the road. I expect different people to stop me on the road so that when I show them, they will not arrest me and impound my car. Why are people doing this? Because of the fear of a repercussion. Now, when it comes to land or houses, most people are completely clueless because there is no police that is going to arrest you for buying a stolen land, stolen house. There is no police or organization that is going to deal with you if you're buying a property that has issues. There's nobody that is going to give you wahala if you've been scammed or whatever. Because of that issue, a lot of people keep doing a lot of nonsense, not verifying their properties before they buy it. Somebody is coming to me to sell a land to you. You don't ask the person, what title document do you have? How did you get the documents? Who is in charge of it? Does it have any paperwork? Does it own this? Is the land near canal? Is the land near high tension? Is it in a place that will cause problem? Do a proper survey search and all those things. A lot of people just buy properties because, like I posted on my thing, oh, one girl that is shaking her hands from this thing, come and buy land because people are interested. Or one boy that is just trying to market different things, come and buy land. What title does it have? It's family land. Take money and you go because you believe there is no repercussion. If you do verification on that property, 80% of the time, you will know there's a problem on that property and you walk away. Most people are not ready to pay lawyers, real estate lawyers to verify these properties. Most people are not ready to pay surveyors from the land registry to verify this. Most people are not ready to take the matter to the Corporate Affairs Commission to know whether this company is valid or not. Most people are not ready to go to building plan to check whether this property has this issue or not. People are just ready to buy because the next person has bought. That is why there's so much scam. There's so much scam everywhere. So I think coming back to this verification, because based on my own verification situation that I did, I was once, in fact, twice a victim of this thing when I started it before. In law school, they don't teach you how to verify land. They just say, oh, you buy a property, you have your C over and this. I was a victim. I was scammed almost 15 years ago buying a property. I now took up, like, what just happened there? If they can scam a lawyer, why can't they scam outsiders? So I now decided to understand that there's a difference between paperwork of verification and reality in verifying it. And I learned the business. I took time off almost a year to confirm how these people sell this, and my eyes opened. I said, so this is the glamorous world of fraud going on when it comes to buying property, selling, and this and that. Okay, I will take it upon myself to prevent it from happening to me and happening to people that I know. And in the course of me doing so many verifications, I've cancelled thousands. Because I've seen people that are presenting fake documents. I've seen people presenting documents that don't make sense. I've seen people making clone or fake documents. I've seen people selling lands that are not supposed to be their own. Everybody needs money, so they just market it. So they've turned it to Eleron style. I put the product there, you pay for it, you get it. Any wahala that comes after it, now your wahala, now you sabi. So if people start verifying, either they do it physically, they do it personally, they engage real estate lawyers, they engage people at the land registry, the rate of these land scams will drop seriously. Just the same way when you look at people buying cars, you look at the percentage of people buying stolen cars. It is quite small because they're afraid of a certain situation, the police. Nobody's afraid of any repercussion when it comes to buying lands or houses. So until people start saying, look, before I buy this thing, let me verify it, because it makes no sense to me. Somebody is paying 50 million naira for a house. The person is not ready to pay 50,000, 100,000, 150,000 to go and verify whether the property is good or not. They're ready to sign that check, and it's the biggest check they will ever sign. When problem come now, they'll start looking for us. So that is the issue.
So we will not get to where problem is. I think this awareness is really important, and I thank you for being part of this conversation, because guess what? It's not just enough for me to rant on social media. I'm actually really looking forward to doing a back-to-back series on real estate in Nigeria. So it is going to be an information hub. So where you need an information on a particular thing, you ask, because it's not, I'm not one to rant, right? I like to find solution, because guess what? What you just said now, I am sure that if people have this information to say, you know what, if I spend that extra 200K and I give it to a Manila lawyer people, they can go and help me check before I even decide to pay this money, right? And that is for if maybe lands and maybe if it is an existing property. But there's still that issue of off-plan, because off-plan was structured in a way that it was supposed to help you pay it cheaper. Because you were not paying for a finished product, you were paying for something that was going to be started from scratch. So every property that we have bought over the years that were off-plan, they were cheaper, because by the time the developer completes that project, it is usually expensive. Sometimes it has even, the value goes to 2 times that amount of money, right? So I'm thinking in my head, maybe we need to also start to intentionally, right, create an awareness around the kind of off-plan real estate companies that you should deal with, so that it will just help you. So if you know that, and I think the Scott guy is doing something, that if you've had any issue with any real estate company, go and report it to a particular app. There's an app that he talks about. So maybe if we start to intentionally find those solutions, somehow we might reduce the amount. It might not be totally eradicated, but we might reduce the amount of people that will fall into the hands of these fraudulent people. But in your profession as a lawyer, what currently are the laws and regulations that exist that would even help us to combat real estate fraud? and how, we've talked about the effectiveness. So they are not really effective because you might end up dragging cases in the, but what are the laws? Is it laws of, you touched on one, outright fraud. You also touched on breach of contract. What are the laws that exist as regards real estate fraud in Nigeria?
We don't have those kind of laws to say, oh, if there's a fraudulent situation, this is your remedy. They will either split it into a criminal situation or a civil situation. There's no body, because the one I think they have now is land grabbers. During Ambode's time, he set up land grabbers, a committee that if Omonile has taken your land, you now carry the problem to that place, the welfare and so on. They are overwhelmed with such a situation. That is why the thing does not move like that. The other aspect is arbitration. Oh, carry these people to this place. These are people that defrauded you. Let them arbitrate and see how they will settle it. So far, it's not court. The third option is police. Oh, it's a criminal matter. Somebody has duped you, so it falls under stealing, obtaining other false pretext, 419, section 419, section 418, all those kind of things that they will say, okay, there's a fraudulent situation, let us arrest the person that has duped. So they lump all these things. There's no body, organization that has been set up to say, come, this fraudulent issue, this real estate fraudulent issue has gotten to this stage. We need a body that will look into it before you buy, before you sell. These are the things you have to check. They just push you to the land registry. Go and check. If the document is there, fine. If it's not there, you're on your own. If there's any issue now, a good lawyer will convert a criminal matter to a civil matter. That is how it works. Even if you say it's arbitration, the person is not compelled to follow the rules of arbitration. He can always take the matter to court. So there's no body or organization that is set up to prevent this thing. It is just common sense and for you to do the right thing. Now, having all these organizations, all these apps to call people out and this and that, still does not change. You call this one out. Doesn't mean 10 other people are not planning to defraud people. The rule is simply verification. If you sit down and verify, you won't enter Wala 1 or Wala 10. And no matter how you verify, there will still be some people that still want to dive head in to get into this issue. I'm still coming back to your off-plan thing. If it was me, you will say, oh, other companies have done well. But I rarely approve off-plan situations. Not because you're saving money. I always look at the state of mind of the person that you're dealing with. The person might have done well once, done well twice. You are not in the position to say this person will not do well tomorrow. It's just that you are now the victim. There are people,
because there can truly just be unforeseen circumstances that will not make them do well, because I don't think a lot of them set out to defraud people, right? Things can just happen and, maybe that plan that you eventually buy, following a track record that you must have seen might just be the one where they will start to default. That's what you're saying.
Yes. For example, now, yours, when I read yours, was more like, oh, you paid for this, and that. Then all of a sudden, they jacked up the price, or that you should pay this interest rate. So they can come out and fight that it's not a criminal matter. It's more of a breach of contract, a dispute. We are talking of money. The question is, oh, did they deliver, or would they choose to deliver, or they've not delivered? If they've not delivered and you've paid them money, that is fraud. If they've delivered, but they are saying, oh, they cannot hand over this property to you because they need extra funds, this and that, then you know it is fraud. But a good lawyer, or in their own situation, they can say, no, it is a civil dispute because we are talking of money. Oh, if you pay this money, they will hand it over to you. Oh, you have to agree to this, or we disagree to this. Oh, have a meeting with them to see how they will. I've been in situations like that this your matter is not new. They will just want to increase the money because they will say based on inflation.
No, so the challenge about the money increment, because I got a lot of DMs. Some people said that was how they also approached them to add an extra amount of money, right? They paid and it was still the same stories. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You take them to this is where there's a body at the Ministry of Justice, arbitration and dispute resolution. You write it. This is not a criminal, because if you write it to police will not be the one that will say, oh, reduce this. You take this matter, because if you take it to court, that is what they want. You will not have a property, neither would they settle the thing. It is there, it is hanging. They will even sell it to another person and pay you the money that has dropped. So you take this matter to arbitration. write a petition. Let them come and explain why they've increased so this and that. And at the end of the day, there will be a resolution between both parties, because they will come, they will quarrel, they will fight, they will talk about this, they will talk about that. At the end of the day, there will be a compromise. Because if they are talking of money, they are also guilty, because they should have said it in between, middle of, or when they started, there will be an issue with money, this and that. That is where you have your say. Not when you've got into the tail end, you now say you have extra. So those are the arbitration part, because whatever it is accepted by both parties is enforceable if you take it to law, court. So in this matter, the best way I will advise, because if you go to court, you will lose. Not based on losing, as far you will lose your time, you will lose so many things, you will be angry, and it will take a long time for you to settle this matter, and you will spend a lot of money. But this matter, it is arbitration, dispute resolution, ADR. You need to take advantage of it, because they will help you sort this situation.
Okay, we've written to them, so we are waiting for their response.
If you've written to the company or ADR.
No, the lawyers they are handling that. So me, okay. I no get energy. My point is that the platform I have is media, and the role of awareness is very important, right? You have done this for, God knows how many years now, right? Mm-hmm. That you have been doing it. So the fact that we still have a huge number of people, right, being defrauded on a daily basis, falling prey to these people, it means that there's still a lot more work to be done, right? So how do you think you can, what are the kind of things we can start to do collaboratively, right, in partnership with the people that are ready to do the honest work, and people like yourself, people like myself that have a media platform? What can we do collaboratively? Because for me, what I'm most importantly looking forward to is just solving the problem. Stop cheating people. Do you understand? Let's start to have decency in that sector. Because people are buying houses because it's a need for them. Only very few people are buying houses these days because they want to do investment. A lot of people are buying houses because they really need a place to stay. So how do we collaboratively put our heads together to start to create the amount of awareness that can drastically drop these fraudulent activities? What do we need to do?
I think we have to look at it the way it is done in other countries. Why we don't have so much fraud when it deals with real estate in the Western world. Everything boils down, like I said, cash and carry. Nigeria has not developed this escrow situation. Escrow is a situation whereby buyer and seller agree they want to buy a house. Seller promises that everything is okay, the title document is okay, the house is okay, the documentation, everything is okay. Buyer is ready to buy, but buyer is afraid. So, you know what, let's have an agreement that I want to buy this property, but hand over this money to an organization to hold trust. This money, trust. And for the next 1 month, the money is with them. You now will now be doing extra verification to check if anything outside what the seller has said goes wrong. And if it goes wrong, they pay you back your money, you walk away. Until that situation happens, this issue of scam and fraud will continue. In Lagos, in Abuja, most especially. Most of these developers and scammers would not be happy to do escrow situation because they need the money immediately. The moment the money enters their hand, that is when they start talking or doing all this nonsense. In the UK, escrow takes 14 or 16 weeks. Whereby anything happens within that 14 or 16 weeks, they will return the money back. And if they spent money to develop or do this or that, the seller will pay the person money. Until that's...
How do we start to call for escrow, barrister?
You see, because I've studied the system, I've been in the system, I've stayed in the system, I've seen how it is. Lawyers in UK are not too happy because they don't spend so much money giving them commission to draft documents. They have their template. The real issue is that escrow. You want to sell, they will do their background, check everything, this and that. Are you okay with it? Yes, but we are giving you 16 more weeks. Bring the money. We are going to hold it. You go and build the house. You go and check the land. If nobody comes, after 16 weeks, we will now release the money. My brother sold a house in the UK 2 months ago in London. He hasn't received that money till today because the money is in escrow. He's waiting for the issues, pray no issues come out. Even though those people have started scattering their house, doing different things, they've not yet said anything. He has to wait, and he's hoping that they will not come out and say, oh, they noticed one pipe burst. Oh, it is his own money he will use and repair all those things so that he will get his full money. Until we have an escrow situation, still like your situation now. If your money was in escrow, and they start talking up and down, this and that, won't they repay your money back and we stop having this nonsense talk?
Absolutely. And I was just going to add that on the final note to end the conversation for today, but it's not going to be the end because we're going to be bringing you to talk more on this. Real estate agents, you know, abroad, they are certified. I told you we just bought a property in the US. They are certified. So they also have a license. You know, because you can't just sell property. You can't just wake up and say, I'm a realtor. Because everybody now, if you have bum and you have big breasts and you are fine, you are a realtor. You know, that's what they do here in Nigeria. So even that entire, we just need to clean up that system. So people are certified. You're afraid of losing your certification. Quickly.
There's an agency for agency. There's a body, Lagos State Agency, I've forgotten their regulatory system. That every agent has to be ready. Poverty, hunger has turned everybody into agents. People that want to buy don't want to go and register with real agents. You have the big ones, the dealer, Fatima, you have the Johnny Dosti, the different ones around Etomi and all that. If you go to those ones, they will charge you money. If you see one small boy on the road, a barber, a vulcanizer, this and that, you tell him I'm looking for house, he will connect somebody because you can pay him small money. Nobody wants to go to the real person. That's why I still coming back to this verification. Up to today, as I am like this, 20 years in this business, people are still like, oh, I want to do verification. You know, go take 5,000 naira. Then you will laugh. You will smile.
Well, thank you so much. We have run out of time, but thank you. We're going to continue this conversation. I'm already loving it. They have dragged my leg inside real estate, so we are here. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
To your matter.
No wahala. All right, so if you missed our quote for today, it says, landlords grow rich in their sleep without working, risking, or economizing. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Oh, my God.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.